Golf Channel on NBC is the branding used for broadcasts of golf tournaments produced by NBC Sports in conjunction with Golf Channel, on the NBC television network in the United States. The network's coverage focuses mostly on the PGA Tour, but also includes other major events such as the Ryder Cup, and tournaments from other tours to which NBC Sports Group holds the television rights, while originally using generic branding based on the event or tour. After NBC's parent company NBC Universal was acquired by Comcast, owner of Golf Channel, in February 2011, the channel's operations were merged directly into NBC Sports. Subsequently, golf telecasts on NBC were rebranded under the Golf Channel on NBC banner, in a similar fashion to ESPN's co-branding of sporting events broadcast by ABC since September 2006. The production of NBC's golf telecasts have since been brought in line with that of Golf Channel. Coverage overview. Early years. NBC first began televising golf events after it was awarded the television rights to the U.S. Open in 1954. The tournament continued to air on the network through the 1965 event. However, NBC rebuffed a long-term deal to broadcast the event when the United States Golf Association decided on a true contract in 1966. The network, however, did televise a handful of PGA Tour events over the following decades. In 1983, NBC televised the first skins game ever held, with Van Scully serving as announcer for the tournament broadcast. From 1983 to 1989, Scully juggled duties for both golf and Major League Baseball telecasts for NBC, usually teaming with Lee Trevino. The only notable affiliate not to televise the first event was KYW-TV in Philadelphia. In 1991, coverage of the skins game moved to ABC Sports, after NBC obtained the rights to broadcast Notre Dame college football games. After Van Scully left NBC Sports following the network's loss of the Major League Baseball package to CBS, Brian Gumbel, who was still co-hosting Today at the time, took over as NBC's primary golf anchor. In 1991, Gumbel was replaced by Charlie Jones and subsequently Dan Hicks. The American Century Celebrity Golf Classic was held in 1990 and sponsored by NBC, which broadcasts the second and third round coverage. The game NBC Sports Real Golf was unveiled at the 17th Annual American Century Championship Celebrity Golf event and promoted during NBC's broadcast of the event. NBC generally televised around 5 regular PGA Tour events per season at this time. In 1991, the network acquired the broadcast rights to the Ryder Cup. Acquisition of U.S. Open rights. In 1995, NBC Sports acquired rights to the USGA Championships, including the U.S. Open, from ESPN. ABC. ESPN retained rights to a portion of the weekday coverage, however NBC was the dominant rights shareholder, including exclusive coverage of the weekend rounds. This took NBC's coverage to a new level, and marked the first time in the modern era of television that the network had televised a major championship. NBC, and its lead analyst Johnny Miller, became synonymous with the U.S. Open, televising it for the next 20 years, through 2014. Expansion of PGA Tour rights. In January 2006, the PGA Tour announced a new set of television deals covering 2007 to 2012. Increased the number of events covered by NBC Sports from 5 to 10. The deal also renewed broadcast deals for the Ryder Cup and the USGA Championships, including the U. U.S. Open. NBC is the only network which provide 4 days of major tournament coverage. NBC carried the weekend coverage of the Geldwin tradition in 2007, 2009 and 2010. Golf Channel covered the early rounds. NBC carried a tape-delayed broadcast of the World Series of Golf, which was held from May 13 to 16, 2007. On June 23 and 24 of that year, the 2008 event of the series played from May 12 to 15, and was televised by CBS on June 28 and 29. In 2007, the Shark Shootout was moved to December, and was broadcast live by both Golf Channel and NBC. The event was originally broadcast in the United States by sister cable channel USA Network, and CBS, with USA broadcasting the first round on a tape-delayed basis, and CBS handling the second round live. The final round was not broadcast live to the entire country, as CBS commitment to the NFL only allowed the round as it took place to air in the Eastern and Central time zones, with the rest of the U.S. seeing the event beginning at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Golf Channel rebranding. In January 2011, Comcast, owners of Golf Channel, acquired a majority stake in the NBC network's parent company NBC Universal. Comcast's existing sports properties were merged into the NBC Sports division, allowing Golf Channel to pool its personalities and other personnel with NBC. As a result of this synergy, Golf Channel took over production of NBC's golf telecasts, which were now co-branded under the Golf Channel on NBC banner, beginning at the 2011 WGC Accenture Match Play Championship, with a co-branded logo adding the NBC peacock to Golf Channel's existing logo. While most golf broadcasts on NBC used Golf Channel's imagery as a result of the changes, the Players' Championship, Ryder Cup and USGA tournaments maintain the distinctive theme music that NBC used prior to the rebranding, and the use was also extended to Golf Channel's telecasts. As ESPN owned the cable television rights to the U.S. Open, NBC's coverage was credited during introductions as being a presentation of NBC Sports rather than Golf Channel, although the Golf Channel branded graphics and bug were still used. In both 2013 and 2014, NBC broadcast weekend coverage of the Aberdeen Asset Management Scottish Open from Scotland. The 2013 event was played at Castle Stewart near Inverness, while the 2014 event was hosted by Royal Aberdeen, near Aberdeen. Coverage of the tournament during both years was anchored by Rich Lerner, and the action was called by lead European Tour announcer Dougie Donnelly and Golf Channel's lead PGA Tour analyst Frank Nobilo. Loss of U.S. Open rights and acquiring the Open Championship. In August 2013, the USGA signed a broadcasting contract with Fox Sports, effective with the 2015 tournament season, ending NBC's relationship with the association after 20 years. Fox, which by the time of its first U.S. Open will have televised just 2 PGA Tour sanctioned events in its history, paid $1 billion for the exclusive rights to all USGA championship events. Johnny Miller expressed disappointment at the loss, saying that he had a feeling NBC would not retain the rights, and that Fox would not be able to fall out of a tree under the U.S. Open. The 2014 U.S. Open at Pinehurst Resort was the network's 20th and final U.S. Open telecast in the modern era. On June 8, 2015, it was announced that NBC and Golf Channel had acquired rights to the Open Championship under a 12-year deal, replacing ESPN. The R&AMP was reportedly won over by NBC's rights fee and the performance of NBC's broadcasts of the Premier League, which air in a similar weekend morning time slot in the U.S. The deal restored a men's major back to NBC for the first time since 2014, gave Golf Channel coverage of its first ever major, and returned the Open to broadcast network television. Originally stated to begin in 2017, it was reported on October 12, 2015 that ESPN had opted out the final year of its contract to NBC, thus causing NBC coverage to begin in 2016 instead, mirroring a similar move by the BBC to also opt out of what would have been its final year of Open coverage to new right shoulder Sky Sports. In January 2016, former CBS analyst David Flaherty joined NBC to become a full-time contributor for its coverage and Golf Channel. Flaherty already hosted a self-titled series for Golf Channel. Longtime ESPN personality Mike Tirico made his on-air debut with NBC during the 2016 Open Championship tournaments. Current PGA Tour Hyundai Tournament of Champions, the Honda Classic, WGC Cadillac Championship, the Valspar Championship, Arnold Palmer Invitational, Shell Houston Open, the Players Championship, the Open Championship, Deutsche Bank Championship, BMW Championship, the Tour Championship, PGA Tour Waste Management Phoenix Open, WGC Dell Match Play, European Tour Aberdeen Asset Management Scottish Open, Majors and Special Events Ryder Cup, President's Cup, Senior PGA Championship, Northwestern Mutual World Challenge, Father-Son Challenge, KPMG Women's PGA Championship, the Evian Championship, Women's British Open, Senior Open Championship, Hull International Crown, former U.S. Open, Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, Northern Trust Open, Bell South Classic, Zurich Classic of New Orleans, Franklin Templeton Shootout, The Tradition, Senior Players Championship, U.S. Senior Open, U.S. Women's Open, U.S. Amateur, Valero Texas Open, Sony Open in Hawaii. Commentators